Hola, bom dia. Hello, good morning. On our last video we talked about going to the Manchester Consulate for our D7 application, and we did say that this week we would go through the list of all the documents that you need.
Yep.
So we chose to have a lawyer, an immigration lawyer. She's Portuguese, she resides in Portugal, because things were a little bit not quite so straightforward, were they, because of our daughter?
Yeah, that's right. Ellie Rose is a student at the moment.
Well, she's just finished her university degree.
Yeah, and she's 22, and because of her age and then not having any finances or whatever, we're supporting her at the moment still. It made it look as though it was going to be a bit difficult when we were looking through the paperwork.
So we decided the easiest route would be to use a lawyer to get the proper advice. So far it seems to have paid off.
The other reason for using the lawyer was we tried for about 2.5, 3 months to get an appointment at Manchester. I even tried Edinburgh and London, although I don't know what would have happened if we'd have got in at London, because it does say that you can't go to London if you're out of their area. But wasn't able to book an appointment. So the first question we asked when we spoke to the immigration lawyer is it possible that you can get appointments? And she said, yeah, there's no bother getting them, which yeah, I couldn't book one. I tried early morning, late night. I tried at 2 o'clock in the morning at one point just to see if I could get a booking, and I just couldn't get in.
So we are getting the impression that the immigration lawyers are finding it a lot easier than us too. I think they're probably getting preferential over the appointments. Not saying that's definitely happening, but that was our thoughts on it.
Yeah, they may even have block bookings, which they hand out so many out, you know. But I certainly couldn't book one when I wanted to. So that's the way we went.
So this list of documents that we're going to talk you through is the list of documents that was given to us by our Portuguese lawyer, immigration lawyer. There's 23 documents altogether, well 22, and then 2 photographs that we needed each. The application was £76.79 each. And right, well, let's have a look at the list then. So first of all, we needed the appointment letter, which the immigration lawyer gives you. I presume if you do it yourself online, you'd get an email.
Yeah.
We all needed an up-to-date passport, which goes without saying. We filled in a visa form each, which is exactly the same as you'll get on the is it CEF website?
No, it's VFS.
VFS website.
Yeah, I downloaded that form first and filled it in myself. But then when we got one off the lawyer, she'd already put some details on it anyway, so we used theirs.
Yeah. So then we needed an exposition of motives. This included why we wanted to live there, how we were going to support ourselves while we was there financially, where we was going to live, and that we have a clear criminal DBS check in the UK, and that we have medical insurance for the first year whilst we're in Portugal. Our lawyer did help us with this. She asked us to just write just a few sentences about why we wanted to live in Portugal, which we did, and she made that document up for us. The next document for Ellie Rose was a marriage certificate and her birth certificate.
That's our marriage certificate.
Yeah, our marriage certificate.
Not Ellie Rose's, she's single.
I think that was to prove obviously that she was our daughter.
Yeah.
Ellie Rose also needed a letter from our doctor because the reason that she's going with us is due to medical reasons. The next document we needed was the pension forecasts.
Yeah, so all you need there is the printout of the expected pension that you're going to get. You can get that off the YouGov website. You just go in pensions and it gives you a forecast on there. All we did was printed that out. It does give you an amount what you're going to get supposedly when you're
at retirement age.
Retirement age, that's it, thank you.
So obviously that was one each, one for Steve and one for me. Yeah. The next document was about our investments. So they wanted statements of our investments and things like savings, premium bonds, etc. One thing I will say about our investments is when we started this journey, we didn't have investments and we had no passive income, and we nearly turned around and said, that's it, we're not going to be able to live in Portugal. We've overcome that and we'll cover that in a future video. But for now, basically what you need is to be able to prove that you can keep yourself in Portugal either with a passive income or with investments of some kind, or a job that pays you to be out there.
Like a digital nomad type.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And as I say, any savings or bank accounts. So we also needed a statement from our financial advisor.
Which is the chap we used to make the investments with the money that we had. Because we hadn't had it invested long enough for the
their guidelines.
Yeah.
I think we'd only had it for about 3 months, and I think you needed it for 6 or something. So we got a letter from him stating that this amount of money would be paid every month.
Yeah, it was guaranteed, more or less.
It was guaranteed. So that again helped us. We needed, as I've said previously, all our bank statements, joint account. I also have an account on my own because I used to get my wage paid into mine. I used to let Steve pay all the bills.
Yeah. Mine went for the house. Debbie's went for...
I spent mine on me.
Yeah. She didn't really.
No, that's a bit untrue. I did buy things for the house. But anyway, that's by the by. We also needed tax returns. So 3 years of your P60.
Yeah, which was a little bit awkward really. It wasn't bad getting for 2 of the years, but for the last year I'd already left work at the April. Because you've left work, you can't get a P60 off your last employer. So it made it a little bit awkward. I had to go onto the government site again, and there is a place where you can get not an actual printout of a P60, but an actual statement of what you were expected to pay tax and what have you, which seemed to suffice.
Yeah. We then needed a NIF each, which we'd already got a lawyer in Portugal to get us, not the immigration lawyer. When we bought the property in Portugal, we needed a NIF number, and the lawyer who dealt with the purchase of that, she did that for us. So we also needed a Portuguese bank account. Now, our immigration lawyer told us that we needed 17,000 euros each. Now, I do know that the people who've done it on less and people are told less.
Yeah.
We submitted that amount and a little bit more as well, just to make sure. we didn't want anything going wrong.
Absolutely not. I mean, we could have done all this paperwork ourselves probably.
Yeah.
But as you say, we didn't want anything going wrong, and we wanted to get there sooner rather than
Than later. And I think it could have been a bit awkward with Ellie Rose as well if we hadn't have had our had the immigration lawyer's input. So yeah, very grateful for that.
Yeah.
The next document we needed was you need either a rental agreement for a year, or in our case it was the purchase agreement of the property that we've bought in central Portugal. And then we needed a criminal check done, a DBS certificate from the UK. Steve will talk to you about that because we just got totally ripped off.
Yeah, so when we were in Portugal last, Debbie started doing hers. She'd already had one before, so she knew roughly how to do it. So automatically when you go on Google and things like that, it gives you DBS check, it gives you a company DBS check, whatever. Debbie started hers, paid for it, which was 80
something pound.
80 something pound, I
I think
can't
it was
remember.
83 or 87 pound.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact figure. But because she'd done that, when we come home, I just sort of didn't even know how much it was. I just copied the same thing, did mine and Ellie Rose's.
And we sent off our 200 and whatever pound.
Sent off our money. And
the thing was, it said on it, back within 24
I was
hours.
just going to say
And because we come home from Portugal and our appointment with the Manchester Consulate was like a week later, we thought, oh, that's great. That's why I didn't go any further with my application while I was in Portugal. So I thought, oh, we've got plenty of time. And yours and Ellie Rose took 2 days, didn't it?
yeah, but you don't get the certificate within 2 days.
No.
It took 2 days for them to come back and say, yeah, it was clear. They send you an email with a number on what says it's clear, but you can't do anything with that. You need the certificate.
And it takes them 7 days to post the certificate out.
Yeah, it can be up to
7 days.
Up to 7 days for them to post it out, which was after our appointments.
And again, fortunately, because we had the immigration lawyer, she was able to email the consulate and tell them that we did have the numbers and we had got clear checks, but we just didn't have the actual paper certificate stating that our criminal checks was clear.
Well, me and Ellie Rose did.
You got yours back in time.
Deborah's didn't come back while...
2 days after we'd been to the consulate.
Yeah, it was 2 days after.
Because they'd made a mistake on the application. What we didn't realise is you fill your form in online.
That was your certificate didn't come while
Oh,
2
my
days.
certificate didn't come back while 2 days after we'd been to the consulate.
We only got notification that it'd gone through the day before we went to the consulate.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, when it didn't come through, I started looking online and trying to see where this document was.
I rang up, didn't I? I rang
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I rang the company that we'd gone with, and they gave us another phone number and said, oh, it's a police check. Everybody's goes through the same thing. You need to phone them direct, which I did. And it was then that I found out, after 2 days of complete frustration and tearing my hair out, nobody talking to me because I didn't have the right information, was that the company that we'd gone with for the DBS had actually put my details down wrong on the form. So when they was asking me to confirm my details, I was giving the wrong details for them, and they wouldn't even speak to me about it.
Yeah.
Eventually we did get to speak to somebody who turned around and says, do you realise you could have gone straight onto the government website and you could have got these done for £23 each?
So, your DBS, go to the government website, it's £23 and it's just as quick,
If not quicker.
if not quicker. They're just going through all these companies.
When they tell you that your checks will be done in 24 hours and you assume they're coming back in 24 hours, what they actually mean is they'll be sent in 24 hours, but you won't be getting your certificate for at least 5 days later.
That's right.
And at £200 and odd for something that could have been £60 odd, we're pretty miffed.
Yeah, we were. We're even more miffed that
They got it all wrong.
they got all Debbie's wrong, and because of that we had a lot of stress.
Yeah, we did.
Because obviously we didn't know whether to cancel the appointment again, whether we'd go for it, whether we'd actually be able to get anywhere when we did go, because the paperwork hadn't come through. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest.
It was 2 days of me absolutely tearing my hair out. But anyway, so just go to the government website and just do it on there. It's £23. Skip all the others in the search engine on Google.
Yeah, just go direct government.
YouGov. The next document was the travel insurance.
Sorry, Gov
sorry.
UK, not YouGov.
Gov UK.
Yeah.
The travel insurance, we went with AXA.
Now again, there's a bit of confusion there. We sort of were told we needed insurance for a year, and it couldn't be single travel insurance. When you go on the AXA actual site, it has a 3-month one, which says will be accepted by most consulates. But the more you read it, the single, it's only for single travel, not multiple travels. So I went for the one with multiple travel because that's what we were told to get. It's quite a lot more expensive, but you know, I'd rather have the right thing, because we want to be there sooner rather than later, than mess about.
So I think our insurance for all three of us was about 800 and something
It was
pounds.
about £800.
Yeah, for the year.
But that is only travel insurance, not the health insurance when you get to Portugal. Because apparently you've got to have health insurance for the first year when you're there as well.
I thought that was travel insurance and health insurance for the first.
No.
Oh.
That only covers you for your health and your travel.
So up to £100,000 insurance.
£100,000.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't. You only need up to £30,000.
Oh, was it up to 30?
But again, that's all there was on the AXA.
Yeah.
The single trip is 30,000, which is where
That's
it gets
right,
confusing.
Yeah.
But you do need health insurance when you get to Portugal for your residency, which is a different thing altogether. So don't be confused on that one. I was for a while.
As we said, we're doing one step at a time, so we haven't really looked into that bit yet. We're just getting there first. Then there is an authorisation of CEF Requiremento, it's called. And this allows CEF to consult the Portuguese Criminal Record Agency to make sure that obviously you've not got a criminal record in Portugal either.
This declaration was written in Portuguese by our immigration lawyer.
Is that the Requiremento certificate though, or the declaration?
Both.
Or both, right, yeah.
And they were both sent to us and we had to sign them. Obviously there's no point sending them to you, putting them online, because they had all our details and things like that on them.
And they're also written in Portuguese.
Yeah. But basically it's to declare that you will let them look at your criminal record in Portugal. I think that's the right way around.
Yeah. So the declaration is who you are, and that you will only travel with a visa, and you will not stay longer than what the visa states, where you're going to be living, where you're living at the moment, your English address, and to let you know that you will not be refunded if your application is not approved, or if you've made any mistakes and you have to resubmit.
So basically it's a get out of jail for them.
So we're not experts, obviously. This is our first attempt at doing it, first time to do it. We've just sort of spoke you through it as we see it, how it was explained to us. We hope it will help you in your process. And if you've got any questions that you think we might be able to answer, or any comments, then if you could leave it in the comments below, or you can email us at portugaldreams@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
There is also a Facebook page called British Expats in Portugal. I don't know if any of you have seen it, and it's a fantastic page. It's a guy called Steve who runs it, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's got quite a lot of files there for you to, there's a little section at the top, files, you can go into that, and there's all the documentation if you did want to do it yourself. It tells you all about moving to Portugal, buying a car, matriculating your car, buying a house, getting your NIF number, getting your D7s. There's loads of really good information in that, and although we have been using a lawyer, we've also been using that website because that Facebook page, because it's really good information in it.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, we are going with that. Oh, something we forgot to mention was you also need to show how you're getting to Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
And how you're coming back. We had a flight booked for going and returning for
early September.
But because when our application was and we got it passed, we've changed our plans and we're going at the end of September because we were going to have to come back for Ellie Rosie's graduation. So we're not going and then coming back, we're just going now, and we're going to take our van. We've still got a few bits and bobs here what we need to take. For anybody who likes the bits and bobs, that's 2 now.
There'll be a lot of bits and bobs.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've still got some bits and bobs to take with us, and yeah, you know, bits of furniture and what have you. So
I don't know about furniture. I think it's more kitchen stuff and personal effects and things like that.
Yeah, so we'll be chucking them in the van and taking them through with us. We were going to try and put as much as we could in cases and go that way, but yeah, van's going to be easier, and we're going to need some transport when we get there for a while anyway.
Yeah.
So Tangerine Dream's going with us as well.
Yeah, because I think, again, we've not looked too much into it, but it does get a whole lot more complicated if you do start taking furniture and electrical goods and things like that. So most of ours has already gone. We used Algarve Removals, and what we've got left we'll just get rid of. One thing we did forget on this list of items that you need for your D7 is 2 photographs. So you need 2 current photographs, and we went to... Where did we get ours from?
Max something in Asda. It is blooming expensive.
Yeah, it was. Was it?
Maximum rip-off, I think she got it.
It's £40 for the 3 of us. But they do measure it all and make sure it's exactly right for a passport.
Well, for Portuguese visa, actually.
For Portuguese visa, yeah. So, again, we just took the stress out of it. We'd already done our photos at home, and then we just said, do you know what?
Let's get them right.
Let's get them right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think that's it for this week. Our next video is going to be at least a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we'll be obviously we've got to wind things down here, you know, telling the banks and things like that we're leaving. We've got stuff to sell, we've got stuff to pack, we've got Ellie Rosie's graduation, and then the day after the graduation we'll be jumping in the Tangerine Dream and we'll be on our way.
Yeah, we were going to leave it a couple of days after the graduation, but as times got closer, so as the date got closer to the graduation, she even said about going on the night after the graduation finished. So, but I put my foot down there. No, I'm not.
Next morning.
Next
we're going.
morning. It'll be early. We're desperate to get there. We can't wait.
So the next time you see us, we'll either be on our way to Portugal, but more than likely we'll be in Portugal.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know how the journey went and everything when we get there. So yeah, thank you for all your support. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes and your comments. It does mean a lot to us and we enjoy reading them. I really look forward to it. And as I say, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see the next video.
They will be getting more interesting. I know a lot of it's been sort of moving this about, tidying this room, doing that.
Clearing out.
But as we said on the last video, you know, a lot of it's because we're only there short term and you can't start pulling a wall down, a roof down. Well, I did.
You did.
A wall down and rebuilding things, you know, it's a bit awkward, so.
But as you'll have seen from previous videos, it was in such a state, was the rubbish that we got left, that it's taken some doing to get rid of. But now we're at a stage where we can start making it our home and building it back up again, and we're both really excited about that.
Yeah.
So
we've got plans for like raised beds, chickens, yeah, quite a lot of things. So
mini goats.
Yeah, Debbie's into mini goats.
I love my little goats.
We have some just on the farm where we are now, as you probably saw in an earlier video.
If I had the space, I'd be putting them in the van and taking them with me. They're not our goats, they belong to the farm.
We should steal one.
I'd steal two. And the donkey.
Yeah, and the donkey, Paddy. Yeah.
Right, so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. As I say, it might be a little bit late coming out. It's going to be a couple of weeks. We'll see you in Portugal.
Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.